We're rolling.
Welcome back, everyone. This is episode 117 of the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast. We're brought to you by Black Belt Digital Marketing. Anything you need to build your business on or offline, website design, Google Ads, graphic design, printing, we can absolutely help. Check us out at Black Belt Digital Marketing on Instagram or our website, bbdigitalmarketing.com. You can request a free review of your online presence today. My name is Milton Campus. I'm a brown belt turning out of South Florida. We got Bo behind the camera. Miguel is not here with us today. He'll be back in a couple of weeks.
You the fly?
We have a new sponsor.
That's cool.
Right, very cool, right?
Hey. There you go.
Super excited to be working with them. We'll talk a little bit more about them as we go.
Bro?
Where's your pair, Bo? Hold on one second. I'm going to let you choose your pair from the wonderful box that they sent us.
Oh, my
God.
So I'm excited. My tail's wagging.
We've got a whole bunch of glasses. I think that might be enough.
Holy cow, look at that.
I forget how many. 4 or 5? Gee, yeah, those hats.
Wow,
hats.
Cool.
Let's put that there. We've got, I chose my pair already. We have these 3. I think there might be. Is there
They know the deal.
No. They sent us 4 pairs of glasses. I chose mine. I like these because they're for my big head.
Sweet.
I'll let you choose. They even sent a blue belt case. For.
Do you have a white belt one?
Well, for Miguel,
transparent.
If and when he comes back, we'll get those to Miguel. I'll let you choose though from these.
Cool.
I don't know if you're a hat guy, but we got a couple of hats from them as well. Very cool, right? Leo Optics. Very cool.
Very cool. Yeah, very nice.
Blue or gray?
What?
Blue or gray?
Gray.
So we got.
Gray. All right.
Oh, look at this! We got a great T-shirt for you. So we got a gray shirt.
Sweet.
So we'll.
Excelente. Ah!
Oh, messed things up. What else we got?
It's okay.
Got both blue and brown.
What's that?
Keychains. Right?
Keychains.
Belt rank.
Sweet.
Belt rank keychains.
Uh-huh.
What are they called? Like paracord, right?
Right.
Paracord with the Leo Optics.
Oh, no.
Sent us a really cool care package. So thank you to Lionel over at Leo Optics. You can go check them out at Leo Optics on Instagram. If you go to the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies Instagram, we've got them in our link tree, and we've also got the coupon code. You can go to their website, leooptics.com, and it is, oh my God, it's going to be 10% off with code JJD. All right, so go check them out, everybody. Show them some love. We'll talk a little bit more about them in the coming weeks and days and weeks. Like
you want to get
these
that
are bamboo. These are bamboo. These sunglasses.
Nice.
Bamboo, like very light, very cool. It's got the nice little.
Yeah, that's the
like
thing.
The red tip from the belt.
Is super light, but it's very strong.
Very cool. He's got some newer glasses.
Sweet.
And we're real excited about working with them. So cool. Thank you to Lionel and his team. Thank you to our friends over at Flow and Roll. Hands down the best custom gi and no-gi gear in the business. Don't believe us? Visit them on Instagram at flow_n_roll and check out all of their custom designs. They've created stuff for academies across the country. He just sent me some new stuff, some pictures of some new stuff that he's launching. Amazing. I mean, the graphics are just always incredible. Go check them out at flowandroll.com. You get 20% off with code JJD.
What up, Sean?
Thank you to the BJJ box for all their support as well. They're Jiu-Jitsu's favorite monthly subscription box, and it's delivered to your door filled with premium Jiu-Jitsu and grappling apparel, equipment, supplements, supplies, snacks, and more. They find the best products in the world of Jiu-Jitsu and guarantee every box is going to be worth more than the cost. All right, each box includes 4 to 7 items that you're going to love. You can use coupon code JJD10 for $10 off your first order. And I think we have another box on the way. We probably have in another 2 episodes, I think we'll have another unboxing.
Cool.
Shout out to NutriZone CBD. No matter if your aches and pains are coming from lifting weights at the gym, rolling on the mat, or just the daily grind of life, NutriZone has a product made for you. Find your NutriZone by finding the best products for your pain wellness so you can continue your active lifestyle. Right? So you've got the tinctures, you got salves, you got lotions. This is like not even half of the stuff that you can find on NutriZoneCBD.com. And again, you can get 25% off with code JJD. All right?
Awesome.
All set? Cool. I did that fast. I'm getting fast.
That is fast. Hey, you are.
All right. So today's guests, we have Amanda Tubby Alequin and her husband, Eric Alequin. BJJ Black Belts. Eric's an MMA fighter. So let's go ahead and get them in here. Let's do this.
Us.
Welcome, guys. How you doing?
We're doing good. We're doing good.
Excited. We're excited.
Thank you for joining us. I appreciate you being patient. I got a little Zoom problem there at the end, but we made it. I'm coming an hour from into Miami too, so the traffic was a little heavier than expected during the day. But I'm so happy to meet you guys. I know a friend of yours, Scott Ferguson. Do you know Scott?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. The man, my mindset coach.
Yeah, there you go. I know. I did his podcast probably almost 2 years ago now. Like as soon as we launched it, he was just like, "You got to get Tubby on," and then she's like, yeah, "Get them both on. Get Eric on as well." So I know we tried to get you guys on way back in the day, but I'm glad it finally came together. And again, welcome.
Sure.
So,
Thank you.
so let's dive in. Let's get kind of like everybody always wants to know. This is probably like every podcast. Like, how'd you get your start in jiu-jitsu and MMA? I'm gonna every question you guys is two answers. You guys can both answer. And,
Yeah.
So start with Tubby. Tell you, how did you get your start in jiu-jitsu?
So I started jiu-jitsu. I was training at XFC in Tampa. I was doing the kickboxing classes and the boxing and the MMA classes. And then one day my brother came home from a jiu-jitsu class and he was like, "I bet you $5 I can put you in something and you can't get out." And I'm like, "No." And this is my little brother, so I'm used to beating the crap out of him. So I'm like, okay. I was like, "Put me in it. Let's do it." So he goes and he puts me in his closed guard, which off rip, I'm just like, I am getting out of this. Just because he's on his back. And he sets up a Kimura lock and I can't get out. And then he starts tugging at it and I'm like, "You're going to break my arm." And he's like, "I told you." So after that, the very next day, I went to my first jiu-jitsu class.
Oh, that's
and that's
awesome.
how I started. Yeah.
Eric,
that's
what about you?
15 years later?
Yeah.
15 years later?
I was 15 years old. Yeah.
Really? Oh, wow.
So I'm 28 now, so 13 years in.
Eric, and how did you get your start in MMA or indoor jiu-jitsu?
I actually had the intent of fighting MMA at the time. I was a big Randy Couture fan. We went to check out a couple gyms. Went to the store at the time that was in Wellington, Florida. Didn't really get a good vibe from the gym. Ended up checking out a Team Noguera in West Palm Beach. The instructor walked off the mat as soon as I walked in. He's like, "Hey, take your shoes off, come try the class." And next thing you know, I'm full-time training 6 days a week jiu-jitsu with this guy.
Oh, wow. What? How long ago was that for you?
Oh, that was 2008. Near the
Okay.
end of 2008.
Okay.
I graduated high school. I was going to college for a little bit, started jiu-jitsu, and that was all she wrote from there.
So now, how did you guys meet? Did you guys meet in the gym on the mat, or how did this happen?
It was honestly, I want to say it was just seeing each other at tournaments. Like it's weird, but like in the background of our like competition videos, we're there. We just didn't know each other at the time.
Really?
So it was just through mutual friends saying, "Hey, you should check out this girl. Hey, you should check out this guy." And then my sister knew one of his friends and then invited him over and his friend to come train at our gym. And that was like our first really like face-to-face introductory. And then it just took off from there. I mean, we would compete at almost all the same local tournaments. And it's just, yeah, that's how we met.
And where are you guys?
Actually, honestly, he saw me compete. I took a super fight at Palm Beach Gardens here, and he saw me compete. And he sent me a message at that time. I think was it MySpace? Or was it Facebook?
It was probably MySpace.
I think it was MySpace. Yeah, I think it was MySpace at the time. And like he commented on my video, and he was like, "Hey, oh no," he sent me a message. He was like, "Hey, great job, but next time you should work on your spider guard." And at that time, I was like getting all these compliments from so many people. So when I opened this message, I'm like, "Who the fuck is this guy? And who does he think he is?" So then that's what kind of like got me responding back to him. And he was like, I couldn't compliment you. He was like, I had to go the other way. I had to insult you and get your attention and then reel you in. You know?
What do they call that? They call that negging. So like saying something.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing. So he knew right away.
I definitely
Does
know.
Now, does that still happen in your relationship? Does that go both ways? Are you critical? Are you like extra supportive?
Oh, man.
Like I kind of feel like sometimes in a relationship, like I'll tell my wife, I'll be like, listen, do you want the honest answer, or do you want the answer to pump up your ego a little bit? Like if she tells me something's going on at work, I'm like, do you want the answer, or you want me to just comfort you because I don't know which way to go? Because I really want to give you the real answer so that it can really help you. How does that work with you guys?
We're definitely at the point of just real answers.
Yeah, we're like, some may say harsh, but we're just the only way we're gonna get better in whatever we're doing is just being honest with each other. And just, we've said it before, like you've heard it before, like, oh man, like I probably have something on my face and the guy probably would have never told me. And like, we're not those type of people. It's like we love you and I love him and he loves me, and we're gonna be honest. Yeah, no.
I do that to my wife.
No, some days he's like looking at me, he's like, man, your head is a little bit larger than normal. Like he'll just say stuff like that, and I'm just like,
but she hit me back. She hit me back as well.
I'm just like, dude.
Are there ever any?
You just be honest about.
Do feelings still get hurt once in a while? Do you feel like, oh man?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%, dude.
Yeah.
Yes. Just recently too, with one of my weight cuts, he was just like, dude, you didn't even have a butt. Your butt was like sucked in. I was like, oh, that's thanks.
Yeah, it's the weight is a touchy subject for both of us.
For both of us.
Yeah. You guys are you both vegetarians, or you don't eat meat? But Eric, you don't eat meat.
I don't eat meat. I haven't had meat for probably like 12 years.
No fish, nothing, no seafood, no meat at all. Okay.
That was a face. I do seafood.
She
I like
does
seafood. Yeah, I do seafood, but primarily like nice vegetables. I love vegetables, love greens and stuff. But I feel like I needed something more, so I want to say 3 years ago I started eating like seafood, fish, and mainly he goes fishing, so he catches me like the fresh fish. So that's mainly the fish I eat. If it's not fish, then I do shrimp.
Our weight cuts. Yeah. Weight cuts have to be a lot easier. With that
weight
diet,
cuts have gotten a lot. Honestly, when I did the transition to start dropping the weight, this was back in 2018. That's when I pretty much I was like, man, I feel like I did it probably 6 months when I started the transition, and I told him, I feel like I need something else in my diet. I was like, I'm doing cardio, I'm doing all these HIIT classes, I'm training also. I was like, I feel like I need something else, I feel bloated when I eat beans and like the hummus, all that stuff. So I was like, I need something else. My body doesn't adjust the beans right. So once I switched to like seafood, man, it's like the weight was just started coming off. I started making easier options, healthier options. I felt better. Like you'll see me slam probably like 2 fishes. Like if I get 2 whole fishes, I like the bone and everything. I like two whole baked fish, fried fish. I will like steam them to the bone. Okay, like a.
Are you Ecuadorian?
I'm Ecuadorian. Yeah.
I heard you on a podcast mention Ecuador. My wife is from Ecuador, and she loves that the whole fish with the eyeballs and everything. What are they? I forget what they call that. Yep. Palgo rojo. Palgo rojo, right? Yeah, that's if she goes. We go to a restaurant. If it's on the menu, she's getting that.
That's me. Yep.
That's her all day.
My mom eats the eyes and stuff. I don't go that far.
She gets pretty close.
Yeah. He gets pretty close. Dude, you're like sucking the brains out of that thing.
I don't think she tears that thing up. I don't think she eats the eyeballs. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't.
I think I would have noticed. I don't think she eats the eyeballs.
Yeah.
But she's from Ecuador too. So
that's awesome, man.
So with the weight cuts, what are you guys walking around with? Like walking around, are those weight cuts still? I would still have to lose a few pounds, or are you always right on weight?
Recently, I would say we're pretty much on point as far as we just changed it from like, oh, we have to cut weight to no, this is our lifestyle. Yeah. So now when we have to cut weight, it's like, oh, we just pull that snack that we normally would have versus a 180 on our diet completely. Yeah. So we've found that it works better for our bodies and for performance overall.
We're fat kids at heart, man. So we're fat kids at heart. Yeah. So it's like after a big competition, after like a big competition or a tournament or like MMA fight, we'll take a solid 2 weeks and just destroy ourselves. And it's like you could be a vegetarian, a vegan, and still be super unhealthy. So it's like there's options out there, man. There's many options.
What do you mean? You said you kill yourself. What did you mean?
Like we eat so much. Like
Yeah.
we just eat a lot. We eat like fat food. We don't fast. You know, normally like
we'll do like intermittent fasting
and stuff. So like we'll just eat for those whole 2 weeks and not have really a limit or like, oh, I had chocolate for breakfast. Doesn't matter. I might have waffles for dinner. Like it's just at that point, those 2 weeks.
Little grace period.
Yeah. So then we finally realize like the damage we do to ourselves in those 2 weeks or just being just chill and stuff. It's just, it takes longer for us to have to lose it and bounce back on track versus having maybe a day or a meal or like, you know, picking and choosing and not just going so hard. So,
What's the go-to cheat food for you guys?
Oh man,
I love everything.
Yeah.
I tell you right now,
Gloves off. You could have anything you want. You're in the supermarket. What are you grabbing? One thing. You could grab one thing. What are you grabbing?
one thing in the supermarket.
chips. I'm chips, bro. I gotta think for crunch chips.
Mm-hmm.
Chips.
Chocolate.
I like sweets and chips. That's like my thing.
If I had to pick though, I'm going to my mother-in-law's house. She makes this chicken stew. I don't eat the chicken.
I love like Thai food. Thai food is my go-to for sure. Pho. It's not bad, but like that's like my go-to. If I want to eat anything, I'm always like Thai food, please. Thai food, sushi, Chinese
we
food.
do a lot of Asian because it's big on the veg as well. So.
Yeah.
I love pad thai. I just had a chicken and shrimp pad thai.
Yeah.
Love pad thai. Love pad thai.
So good. And
Dude, I like TikTok teaches me all these recipes. I'll come home, like I bought the sushi kit maker. I bought a whole wooden thing to steam dumplings.
Yeah, she's making dumplings
like
last week.
everything, the little molds to make the orinagis or something like that. Like I look it up. If I like it, I make it.
I got a little tear. My wife doesn't cook, so Ecuadorian doesn't cook. Little tear. I got to do it.
It's so funny.
I eat out or cook
She
myself.
found her way. She found her way.
Yeah.
TikTok helps a lot.
Yeah.
I will say TikTok, man. TikTok during COVID times, especially, was innovative when it came to like, we were all stuck in the house, so why not work on a new hobby? And I did cooking.
She got addicted to clean talk, right? To cleaning stuff, cleaning tricks on TikTok. So I'll take
Pink
that.
stuff.
I'll take that.
Did she try the pink stuff at all?
What's that? No, I don't know.
The pink
It's a
stuff?
cleaner.
It's
called
like
the
a cleaner.
pink stuff.
It's called the pink stuff. It takes everything off.
Really?
And I got it from TikTok. Saw it on TikTok, bought it. Amazing.
I've got to tell her about that. So we're talking about weight. Eric, I heard you say you walked around at like 270 plus at one point in your life. You played football?
I graduated high school 275, man.
Wow.
And I just obviously I didn't want to compete at that weight for jiu-jitsu, so little by little I compete like 200, 195. I fight MMA at 170. I walk around like 185, so I don't cut much weight.
Yeah. How do you feel? You could feel that. That's a whole child. That's a whole child. 100 pounds.
In my mind, I still have that strength, though. I feel like when you're that big, you always carry some of that strength with you.
I try to explain it to people. I'm usually the heaviest I've been is close to 250. I'm down at like just breaking into the 220s, and I tell people like, number one, I can feel it. But I'm not seeing myself all the time. I'm seeing you. I'm seeing the person across from me. So the way the mind works is you think you're the same size. You think you're like, that's almost a mirror image of you. So I don't realize that how much bigger I am until I see pictures of myself next to people. I have a really funny story. I had an old roommate, and he was kind of heavy, but he had really slim shoulders. How do you say slim? I know like broad shoulders, but he's slim shoulders, right? Yeah. He looked really small, and his head looked so big. And he was a bartender, and every time I would go to the bar, I would I would make fun of him. He was my boy. I'd make fun of him. But then one day I saw my head next to him in the mirror. He's behind the bar, and I see my head next to his, and I said, "Holy shit! My head is so much bigger than yours." And I never brought it up. I never said anything about his head again. But I don't think people realize that is that as a bigger guy, most of the guys I roll with are probably 200 now. I've got a couple of there's always some big white belts that come in and some of them last, some of them don't. But most people are probably going to be a good 30 to 50 pounds smaller than me. And I try to explain that to them. I tell people I've had to learn two things. I'm learning jiu-jitsu. I'm a brown belt now, but when I've learned jiu-jitsu, I also had to learn how to not like put all my weight on somebody or crush somebody because I'm going to hurt them. I'm going to this, I'm that. So I'm like, there's two parts that are going on here. You might be going crazy and, you're trying to get me. I've got to make sure that I'm doing my jiu-jitsu technique and not hurting you. So as a bigger guy, when I first started, it was just like, you guys don't understand. Like if I really put my weight on you, not that I'm like this great jiu-jitsu, if I really put my weight on you, you'd really feel like I'm holding back. I'm keeping my weight off of you a little bit. So I know that big boy struggle, but I also know when I lose weight, man, I feel like I can move so much faster, and it's just it's just different in the gym. So that's got, I mean, again, 100 pounds. What's up?
How long have you been training?
June will be 9 years. I'm a little bit older. I started when I was 41. I started right before my 41st birthday, and with COVID, I blew up my knee during COVID, so I lost probably like 9 months. My gym, no, they weren't training, right?
No.
Nobody was training, right? I would have trained that entire time, but I probably would have had my brown belt a little bit earlier and maybe be at black. When people ask, "Oh, how long have you been training?" and I say I'm at brown and like I'm got 3 stripes, close to the black. I went from white to blue in 6 months. I was my coach's only student. He just opened a gym. It was just me and him, 6 days a week, open mats at other gyms. I started coaching with him. So like I went right through white really quick. I wrestled a little in high school, so I kind of understood like how to move my body. I moved really quick. I did like double golded at my first tournament at 6 months, and he was just like, "Here's your blue." So I did move quick. So when I tell people it's like 9 years, I'm like, I might just at right about 9 years get my black. It's probably going to work out like that if I stay healthy. Yeah. It's like, wow, that's kind of quick, but all because some places will keep you at.
That was like 6 months of private, basically.
Yeah. It was, a lot of gyms will hold students minimum a year, but maybe 2 years at white, right?
Yeah.
So I definitely went through that quick. And again, I was doing the kids class. I was opening the school. At White Belt.
Oh wow, you were in it.
He was in law enforcement, and he'd do on stakeouts, and he went from NYPD to Homeland Security, and then he came down to Florida, and he'd be like, "I got a stakeout tonight." He's like, "I can't open the gym tomorrow. Like, I'm not gonna be able to open the gym." I would open it. Sometimes his wife would come in, but then I'd run the kids class, the adults class. So again, I moved through it quickly, but I think when I double golded, it was just a little new breed, but I was 40 plus. And everybody was half my age. There was nobody my age. So I ran through these like 25, 26-year-old kids that were all my size. And I got it quick. So I kind of like to explain that because some people are like, 9 years, you're almost a black belt. Man, what are you, some kind of stud? I just went through white quickly.
Yeah, no, man. That's honestly, you say that and I'm just like, I got my black belt in 7 years.
Oh, shit, yeah.
I tell people that was like, actively competing and stuff like that. But he got similar to you, like with blue belt and stuff. Same thing with him happened.
Yeah.
Similar competition.
3 months?
I got mine in 3 months.
You got his blue belt in 3 months.
I was training so much that when my wife would be like, I'd come home and she'd be like, "Really, 5 hours?" Like, because I would come out of work at 5.
Does she train?
No, she does. She does like I love kickboxing style stuff. So she goes to like do kickboxing. It's a place called Raw Kickboxing down here in South Florida, and or down in Coral Springs. I forget you guys are in Florida, right? So she does that. So she didn't really understand my love of jiu-jitsu until she found that years later. And because I was on her ass to like, you get in the gym, you got to do something, because she didn't really go to the gym or work out. And I was, really on her to do something. And then she understood it because now she's like that. When she doesn't go, she's unhappy. She's like, I can't believe I missed today. It's like, you just like Monday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. She's there, and if she's not happy. And I'm like, you see, now you get it. But she used to tell me like 5, like I get out of work at 5, open the gym at 5:30, and be home by like 10:30. She'd be like 5 hours, really 5 hours, and I'm like, but I'm thinking I could be at the bar, I could be out with my friends.
Yeah,
believe me, this is a good alternative to me doing any of that stuff. This makes me want to do any of that stuff a lot less. And then again, when she found her love of kickboxing, then she's just like, I get it. All right. But still, now it's not, it's like 2 hours, 4 days a week.
Yeah.
I still get that. I still get that.
I still get that. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah. Because it's like when he's in camp, his schedule, like I tell people, I'm like, when I tell you I don't see him until we're laying in bed at night and he's already basically asleep.
Yeah.
So like in the mornings, he'll wake up. We'll go to morning class. When he's in camp, he tries not to go to the morning class, but sometimes he feels guilty and shows up. If we wake up at 5 to teach at 6 a.m. And that's every day, Monday through Friday. So after that, he goes home and gets ready, and then he leaves to go to Stanford, and he's there by like 9:30. And he's there until 11:30.
Straight to the boxing
and then he
gym.
heads straight to the boxing gym where he meets, where he does his boxing with Coach Mooney. And then on some days he does more like a point fighting and stuff like that shortly after, like just some shadow boxing and some pad work and stuff with another instructor around 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. So by the time he gets home, it's like 3:30, 4, and I'm either at work or I'm off of work, and I just got home at 2 and I'm cleaning up and stuff. And he gets home.
One more practice.
Yeah, he eats. He does his hand-eye coordination. So when he's at home, he's still training. Then he rests, and then he wakes back up at 6, heads back out the door.
Wow.
Goes down south, and then by the time he comes back at home, it's like, oh no. And then afterwards, he'll drive back to our gym, because we teach a jiu-jitsu program called the People's Jiu-Jitsu out here in downtown West Palm Beach. So then he'll drive after class ends around 7 o'clock, 7:15. He'll take like the 45-minute drive and show up to our class, because our class starts at 7:15. So he shows up like 30 minutes, probably like, 45 minutes late, but he shows up, gets on the mat. Either he trains if he wants. If it's a gi class, he'll put his gi on and like sit on the side and help and stuff. But yeah, he's there. He's in it.
How many days a week is that?
Day, that's every day.
That's every
That's
single
usually
day?
6, like 6 days a
Yes,
week.
like I tell people, full-time job. Like that's, as a fighter, I feel like that's what it has to be. If you're committing to this as a career choice, as a lifestyle, like it has to be a full-time job. You have people that go to work every day. They don't want to go, but they show up. They commit to 8 hours a day. I feel like it should be the same way in training. And it's not saying you're killing yourself for 8 hours. Like that's I really, really admire him, especially with his training and when he gets in his camps, because he's very tactical and he's smart. The times where he's gotten hurt, it's because he wasn't listening to himself or like, being smart. It was more so ego, like, I can do this. I'll do it. I'm fine. I can push through. But like, he's very, very smart. He's very like tactical. He likes to make sure he's on schedule per se. Like he's like routine
So
with his food, his eating, everything.
Eric, now you tell us about her. Tell us about her training day.
Maniac. The same way I don't stop, she doesn't stop. When I'm in this camp mode, I'm not really cleaning up behind myself too well. I'm not cooking. So she'll be the one picking up that slack on top of her training. She's cleaning, she's cooking. We've got 5 dogs. She takes care of the dogs.
Wow.
We got chickens. We've got like how many chickens right now? 30 chickens in the backyard.
We have 2 bunnies.
2 bunny rabbits. So she's holding down the fort while she's training.
Yeah.
And sometimes she's good unless she's gotta cut weight and she's hungry. When the hunger comes in.
And it's normally I don't like cutting water weight. So for instance, Pan Am, I knew that I wanted to do the featherweight division. That's 118 with the gi on. So me, naturally, I walk around 118, 119. If I'm heavy, I'm 120. But naturally, I walk around 118, 119. So I was like, okay, I have to drop the weight now. I don't want to lose water weight. So it was just hard. I'm 5'5". Yeah, I'm 5'5".
She's very lean as well.
Yeah, so I'm 5'5". I'm already lean. So it was already hard for me to drop down. I was able to get naturally waking up to like 116, 115. And I started like 3 weeks before. And then the day of the tournament, I was like, Eric, man, I can't find a gi light enough. I don't have a belt light enough. I was like, I don't want to wear another gi. I want to wear my sponsor's gi. Like, so I ended up doing a bath. And I went from 116 the morning of, I did 116. I did a hot bath for probably 20 minutes. And I lost 3 pounds, I want to say. I was 113 once I was out the bath. Wow. And then once I was done, I freaking got in the bullpen an hour early. I hydrated. And at the end of it all, I had to buy a new gi because they changed the rules. So last minute, they were like, they were like, oh, we changed the rules last year, semifinals and quarterfinals.
No black, right?
No black gi. It has to be blue or white. And I'm like, I competed in 2020 and wore black gi in the quarterfinals. I was fine. And the semifinals. And they were like, no, we changed it. So semifinals and finals, blue gi, white gi. So yeah, so I had to wear a new gi anyways. But yeah, that's the only thing is when I have to cut water, I'm a baby for it. I don't like cutting weight.
What's your advice to people now? I've seen a lot of people that try, like hobbyists that try to cut weight to train at these like local events. What do you say to those people? Because I'm always telling them, I'm like, what are you doing? It's not the same as what like Eric's doing and what you're doing, and you're fighting. These are professional events. You're getting paid. When you're doing these local events, what do you tell these people that are doing the IBJJFs or the Nagas or even the new breeds, and they're fighting to cut weight?
No,
we tell our students, compete as close as you can to your weight.
Yep.
Obviously, if you're 2 pounds from another weight class, okay, lose 2 pounds. But I remember when we first started, I'd have guys, we're on our way to Naga, guys are in a sauna suit with their heater on and the car spitting, losing 10 pounds. And just, performance, your health, especially in MMA, your brain's made up of water. So you don't want to cut too much crazy weight, especially like you said, if you're not getting paid for it.
Thank you to Feito IT and AV, specializing in commercial and residential automation, security cameras, CCTV, POS, and more. Check them out at feitoitav.com or call 305-428-2515 and let them know the dummy sent you. Thank you to Neutral Zone CBD, a combat family-owned company that supports athletes and the people who love them. Neutral Zone strives to deliver clean CBD products for sports recovery in gummies, lotions, balms, roll-ons, and more. After a competition, a hard rolling session, or a tough day on the job, Neutral Zone has a product designed to help you reduce inflammation, increase cell rejuvenation, and may even help with aging joints. Visit NeutralZoneCBD.com and get 25% off your order with code JJD. And follow them on Instagram too, at MyNeutralZone. Jiu-Jitsu's favorite monthly subscription box has now joined the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast. The BJJ box is delivered to your door filled with premium jiu-jitsu and grappling apparel, equipment, supplements, supplies, snacks, and more. The crew at the BJJ box find the best in the world of jiu-jitsu and guarantee every box to be worth more than the cost. Each box includes 4 to 7 items you're going to love. Visit thebjjbox.com and use code JJD10 to get $10 off your very first box, and give them a follow on Instagram at TheBJJBox. Special thank you to the crew over at Flow and Roll for all their support. Flow and Roll is renowned for their incredible no-gi rash guards, shorts, and leggings. Flow and Roll has quickly become the premier custom apparel provider for academies big and small throughout the United States. Reach out today to discuss your custom order and ask about their incredible pre-order program. You can send an email to flowandroll@gmail.com or visit their Instagram at flow_n_roll and shoot them a direct message. And yes, they can create an awesome custom gi for your academy as well. Visit flowandroll.com to check out their awesome designs, and while you're there, pick up a Jiu-Jitsu Dummy signature tee exclusively at flowandroll.com. And remember, you'll get 20% off your purchase of t-shirts, rash guards, or gis with code JJD.
There's no need to cut that way.
I feel like those, and I tell my guys too, like at the end of it, it's about testing yourself and having fun. Why would you want to do something if you're not going to enjoy it? And if you're like, fuck, why am I doing this? I'm not going to cap for Pan Ams. I told them, I was just like, I'm not getting paid for this. I was like, I'm over here killing myself. I was like, I want to have kids one day. I was like, man, I'm gonna double think this. I was like, it'd be a weird feeling if I was getting paid to make this weight cut, I was like, but I'm not. I was like, at this point, I'm going out there to test myself in the gi. I haven't competed in the gi in 3 years. So I'm like, I should be having fun with this. Like, it shouldn't be like that type of mindset, like killing myself, not having fun with it. When you're going out in competition, you're already putting yourself out there. Yeah. Why make it harder than it already is? Have fun with it. Now, if it's like a major tournament, if it's like a super fight where you are getting paid, or if it's like, it is a big tournament, world or something, like he said,
good
if you're
exposure,
2-3 pounds away from your weight class, then I'm like, dude, fast for the week before you're, a lot of people don't fast,
fast, like intermittent
fasting, like cut your food off.
I'm actually doing that right now. I think it's
and I'm like, you'll see a difference, especially if you're not used to doing it. Your body will like go into like a change, like it's like, what's going on right here? I'm used to getting fed after 7, like time to go to the reserve. So we've had one of our guys this past week compete, and he was telling him to just intermittent fast, and he was doing that. He's a little extreme. He did it past 5 p.m. or 4 p.m. But he made weight. He
felt good.
Didn't have to cut any water or anything. So I mean.
So I was going to ask you, I think you kind of answered it, but you're talking about like not getting paid for the IBJJFs, but I think if you want to get to your level, you still have to do them, right? It's the exposure, right? You have to do them. You may not be getting paid, and they know that too, so they can make whatever rules they want. But it's about the exposure, and if you're not doing them, you might not get that call to the WNO. You might not get a fight to win, or maybe a fight to win, maybe not so.
And the exposure, it's more than the exposure. It's like the consistency.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have them everywhere. Them everywhere. Like, and now more than ever, I'm seeing more in South Florida. They have the Tampa, the Orlando, the Miami. Like, I'm like, those never used to be here. Pan Am's was here, 2 years. So I was like, that's good. So I'd say it's more so for consistency. Exposure, great too, but 100% consistency. Like when you don't have anything lined up, you have IBJJFs every weekend.
And
whether they're in the United States, out of the United States.
My gym, they're traveling to all these. Now the kids program is traveling all over the place.
To have, like I was telling my lower belt guys, like to have a Pan Americans in Florida is huge to me, because we were traveling to California every year for Pan Ams, for Worlds.
Thousands of dollars.
I'm like, dude, the Pan Ams is in your backyard. You got to go and get that. That's a huge title.
Yeah, I just went down to the was it the Miami Open?
Yeah,
Miami Springs. A lot of fun. I'm not competing, but love to go watch my team and get just as nervous as going out there yourself.
Yeah.
But so, Eric, tell us about you're still fighting in the PFL, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell us about PFL, the series, and where you're at right now, because this is a little bit different, right? This is, it's not like the UFC, win a fight and then wait for your next fight, right? This is almost like a tournament style, but not all in one day.
Yes. I was in the Challenger Series. So basically the Challenger Series, they take X amount of guys from each weight class and you fight your way for a contract. But if you have a good showing, that they'll keep you in contact.
Mm-hmm.
I had my first pro loss at the PFL, which was a great learning experience for myself. And they liked my performance, kept me on the radar, actually called me for a couple short notices, which the other side declined. Apparently there was an experience issue. And then about 2 months ago, I had a knee injury. So I've just been trying to rehab my knee before I get back in there.
So are all the PFLs you said for a contract, like the PFL does that $1 million prize, right? That's
per
them?
weight class.
Per weight class. Is that the same as getting a contract, or are those two different types of tournament styles within PFL?
When you enter the Challenger Series here, that's like your intermediary step to go to the tournament. So you get the contract for PFL, and then they'll put you in the tournament. And it's still like you could win all your fights in the tournaments, but you don't get to the finale because it's point based. So they're kind of putting that incentive for guys to get the finish. I believe like first round finish is 5 points. Decision win is like 2 points or something like that. So they really put the fire on guys to go out there and get after it.
You like that? Do you like that way of doing it?
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah.
Do you see yourself fighting in another organization in the future? Is this
when I initially started, I was like all about the UFC. Everyone's like, oh man, UFC was the only thing at the time. But now PFL, I mean, you could win $1 million before fights. So that's huge. I like PFL. I really like One, who Tubby signed to One. I'd fight for UFC One or PFL. Any of those are on my list for sure.
I watched my first full One event, this one on the 5th.
Oh, it's a good one to watch.
Yeah. Can't miss the first one in the United States. Definitely. Before it was really on my radar. I knew about it. I didn't necessarily fully understand it. And I used to be over here talking about like, jiu-jitsu could be boring. Like, we're never going to have that like, I love jiu-jitsu. I love watching it. I love doing it. If I'm not doing it, I want to be watching something. Like, I'm all about jiu-jitsu. But I know for the casual, right, you can have a casual MMA fan, but there aren't really a lot of casual jiu-jitsu fans. And the way that One is doing it is kind of, it's getting us to that place. And then when I was like, wait a minute, One's doing what? Oh, well, I guess really like when Mikey started, all right, I started to really pay attention to it. And I think it's incredible. I think it's a great way of doing it. And I hope that maybe the UFC and even Bellator maybe catch on to and say, yeah, maybe we should do this.
Yeah.
Hey, let's make it the undercard. Make jiu-jitsu the undercard at the beginning, or like they do it. It doesn't always have. It maybe is not going to be the main event just yet, but I like it. I like that it brings everything together. You got the kickboxing, the Muay Thai. Let's do it's all stand up MMA. I even like this new thing. I can't believe that I didn't go to the event. This bare knuckle MMA. I didn't see the fights, but Masvidal's. I guess that's part of his organization. Did you?
Yeah,
I didn't see the fights. I think I saw some highlights, but I didn't see the fights. What do you think about that?
Yeah.
Somebody who
bare
fought?
knuckles another story, man. Bare knuckles another story.
Scary.
That's probably the one thing I wouldn't do though.
Yeah.
Bare knuckles, it's nuts.
Yeah, you see these guys come out with
The girls
with
too.
they come. You get beat up. What do they say? That you're on that line. They say knuckle up, and then they come out firing. It's not like MMA where you're gonna take your time, stay at a distance.
Yeah,
everybody wants to get in there.
They go.
Listen. Everything. The sport, MMA, jiu-jitsu has come a long way, and I like where it's going. I hope that the Bellators and the UFCs kind of catch on to this and say maybe there's something here. I don't know if Dana White would ever do it. I think he's kind of stuck. He's not a follower, so to change his organization to what somebody else is doing. But I definitely I hope one comes down here one day. I'd love to see them in Florida or
I think I heard through the grapevine that they may be signing a contract together. I don't know how true that is.
One and UFC?
There's one in the UFC, yeah.
That
as
would
far
be
as
huge.
grappling and stuff, because they want Gordon. I'm pretty sure Gordon had signed a contract with one as well, but couldn't find him a match.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. There's some talk about that. So I don't know. Hopefully.
I know he had that contract, got sick, right? I don't know that he ever really fulfilled his contract. Whatever happened, he's not under contract with them right now, right? He's not signed.
No, I don't think so.
Now he's got that deal that he signed with Flow, right? Flow Grappling. He's got the $1 million contract with Flow.
Yep.
I don't know if he would still be allowed to fight on that. What is it? The Fight Pass Invitational.
I know that he was with them, both of them. Yeah, he had signed originally with the UFC and the one.
Yeah.
Recently, he's gone the Flow Grappling, but that's why I was just they were talking about something going on there with the grappling. So.
Yeah.
I think it'll get there because 10 years ago when we were doing it, no one was talking about jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
No one knew about jiu-jitsu.
No one was paying athletes to do jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
You had to fight to win money.
Yeah. What about you, Tubby? Is that in any way, shape, or form in the future for you? Is that part of your plan, or are you sticking with jiu-jitsu?
I honestly, I started out boxing before I did jiu-jitsu, and I always tell them, I was just I want to do one MMA fight just to see if I like it. And I know I'm gonna like it, so I think it's bad, but I want to do it. But he's at the point
Until she has to cut weight.
Yeah, until I have to cut weight, right? He's also like, Tubby, you have such a good gig with jiu-jitsu. He's like, you get paid for it. He was like, I get punched in the face, but I was like, I can make more money if I get punched in the face. But so I don't know. I definitely want to. I want to try it. But let's see. I was like, I'm 28. I feel like I can make a good run for it in a matter of 2 years, less than a year. But
have you ever trained a little bit in the gym? Have you ever put on the gloves in the gym?
Yeah. Actually, after I come back from this match for who's number one, I'm planning on helping Jillian for her camp coming up for her next fight. Jillian Robertson.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping he can take me down to Goat Shed on Wednesdays and I go over there and train with her for some of the grappling MMA days. But I have a kick out of it. Like when my guys usually fight MMA or like when he does, I'm just like, can I put the gloves on and can we grapple and punch? Like I'm like, please, So, and also too, he's making the last Friday of our morning classes, MMA grappling class. So that, we want our students to kind of say, hey, jiu-jitsu is great and all, but let's look at it from this aspect. If someone's punching you in the face, you're not going to berimbolo. You're not going to be going upside down, berimboloing for your life. So it kind of changes the aspect of kind of gives you more of a realistic feel as far as self-defense wise, or gives them a little insight onto what he does and what to expect, how to use your jiu-jitsu if it came down to it with having a punch and, fight.
My first gym was like that. My gym now, the one that I've been at this gym for 7 years, we're just jiu-jitsu. But
jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, I knew my gym was closing after 2 years, and I used to go stalk. It was the old Fight Sports in Coral Springs, which is now Jiu-Jitsu for Life.
Sophia Amarante.
Sophia and Felipe. Yeah. I used to drive by, and I used to just sit outside because I just wanted to see the program. And they had some stand-up. They had a stand-up coach for a little bit, and as soon as I started, they got rid of they got rid of the program, and I was like, oh man, because I did do we did stand up. It was like Monday, Wednesday, Friday was jiu-jitsu. You had a basics, and then an advanced class, and then Tuesday, Thursday was what we called MMA, which was we did our basics, we did a jiu-jitsu class, and then we put on the the small gloves and we grappled, and we were punch in the face and takedowns, and we not heavy ground and pound. We would get to the ground, do jiu-jitsu
to let the person know like, hey, you could be hit on this position.
I loved it. I mean, I have that little bit of that was like I did stand up before I did anything, even at another gym. I was doing a little Muay Thai someplace, but I do like not getting punched in the face, but I do think that everybody should have that experience at least a little bit. It should be part of your training, because it's a completely different beast when, maybe, you're going for a takedown and, you got to worry about somebody's knees, or, you get popped in the face when you're going, and it's just like, wait, what am I doing? My coach jokes about, like, he shows a move and he'll be like, okay, this is the competition way of doing it. And then this is aisle 9 in Publix. This is you're fighting with the little old lady over the last jar of peanut butter, right? There's two different jujitsus. There's a jujitsu on the street, and there's a jujitsu, that you're going to do at the tournament, and that's even different. So he'll show, okay, look, from here I could punch. We don't do it and train it, but he'll show, look, this is where I would be, and I could punch here, pound here, punch. It gets it into people's mind, like, oh yeah, right. I'm gonna be, if I'm sitting here, boom, I could get punched. So
what do you do with the old lady? You foot sweep her and then Kimura?
I know. I'm like, I'm like, over peanut butter milk.
No, that's my coach. That's my coach's joke. That's my coach's joke. That was not mine.
Peanut butter. I love peanut butter.
Hilton, gi or no gi?
Me?
Gi or no gi?
Oh, preference, or do I train both?
You gotta pick preference.
This is gonna be a weird answer. I like no-gi better, because I just like it better. I don't know what it is about it. But at my age, I like that I can slow people down with the gi. I'm gonna be 50. I'm training with guys, more than half my age. I'm 16 years old to probably 35 is like the average age of most of the people in the gym. There are maybe like 5 of us over 40 and 2 of us over 50. Well, I consider myself at 50, another 2 months. So I do like that when it's like the 6th round of training on an open mat Saturday, that I can kind of slow, or Saturdays are no-gi, but on a Sunday I can slow somebody down. I'm like, but as I lose weight and I get my cardio back, then I'm like, I like the no-gi. I also think because we train gi 5 days a week, no gi 2. One like a Friday night, we do just an all drilling class. Maybe we'll like one roll. It's all advanced drilling. And then on Saturday, it's the same thing. It's an hour of drilling, and then we do basically an open mat and no gi. So those are our 2 no gi days. So I try not to miss those days, because also with work is kind of hectic. So I like the advanced stuff on Friday night, and then again coming in the next morning. But it's like you finish at 9:00. It's go home, protein shake, go to bed, because I want to wake up. I tell everybody, like, me and my wife both go to bed earlier on a Friday and Saturday, just because we want to get to the training. Like, we just want to be ready for the training. I'll stay up till 1 a.m. watching TV, because my mind is just going about work. I own a marketing company, so I'm always thinking about the account and that website that's getting built. But on Friday and Saturday, I'm only thinking about the training the next day. So we go to bed. I'm like in bed at 10:00. Like, hey, let's turn off the TV, lights out. So yeah, I'm an addict too. I'm an addict my way. I always say that in the hobbyist way, I'm an addict, and I love it. I'm training more now than I ever did before. Again, as I've been losing weight, I've been able to get in a little bit more. Yeah. I got sick a couple of weeks ago, so when I came back, I usually like to do 1 day jiu-jitsu and 1 day of weight training. But now I've just been like, when things get crazy, I need that camaraderie. Like, going to weight train is like I'm by myself. When my mind is going, and I need that human interaction, because I'm working at home all day. Yeah. My daughter works for the company. She's in another state, but we're like on video chats all day. But other than my wife coming home and my other daughter that goes to school, she's home now, but usually I'm there all day by myself. So going to the gym full of people is healthy for me. So when things are more hectic, I want to be in the gym, so I'll weight train less just because I want to be in jiu-jitsu. There's also a little bit, like I'll say this to some of the other guys, we're like so close to black. I want to earn it. I'm showing my coach that I want it. I'm showing him that I'm picking it up. Like just showing up more, just to be like, when it does happen, like he's gonna know that he gave it to me and I deserved it. It's not just because of the time. It's not just time. It's like mat time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I kind of feel like I'm in that mode right now. So I'm an addict.
That's good. I love that you use that word camaraderie, because that's something that jiu-jitsu really, really does bring. Like it brings the community together. Like we can't sit here and say that we've gotten where we're at by ourselves. That's literally through like the community, and just that's what we look forward to. That right there is just interacting with the students, like coming together. I'm like, where else will you find a sport where people show up at 6 a.m? It's like 12, 15 people to choke each other, to literally put the hurt on each other. And I'm just like, that right there, that's love.
And
that's
still
love.
and still be friends, right? And still be friends. All of my, other than Bo, all of my friends in my daily life in my town, besides people that, I went to school with in New York and other places. Yes, I'm friends with them, but everyone is from jiu-jitsu. I don't hang out with anybody who's not doing jiu-jitsu. So we're around each other. It's like, hey, let's go get something to eat. Hey, let's go watch the fights. Hey, let's do this. Hey, we're having a party. So it's like nobody in my life, again, other than Bo is and we're trying to get Bo. We're trying to get Bo on the mat. We're trying to get Bo on the mat. Bo has not given in yet. He did tell me that day. He's like, "Oh, there's a Gracie Academy right around the corner here." I'm like, "Oh, God,
you gotta do it."
You said before, Eric, right? You gotta
You got to, man.
It's 100%. It does change your life. I mean, I was just a completely different person before. I was definitely like the people that I hung around with. We'd go out and drink, and it's just like, get into scuffle and, these fighting with these guys over here. Yeah, now it's just everything's about jiu-jitsu, and when I do go out, it's just like, there's a problem over there, I'm over here. I want to be as far away from that as possible. I don't want to not be able to train. I don't want to hurt somebody. I don't want to get locked up, I had 3 beers the other day. I had 3 beers the night of the UFC, and I'm just like, oh man, I'm not gonna be able to train tomorrow. This sucks. Like, it's just going through my mind. I'm like, what did I do to myself? 3 beers. It's like not a big deal, but then I didn't train the next day, and then I went yesterday. I was like, I gotta go to the gym. Like, Monday, if there's a day that I take off, it's usually Monday, and I didn't, because Monday's my hardest day at work. It's just like back from the weekend. But
Monday blues, man. That's what I was telling him. Didn't I tell you this yesterday? I was like, why are Mondays so hard? I was like, we're in bed. We get a whole night's full of rest, and I wake up on Mondays, and I'm still tired. Like, granted, we walked in on our Monday class, and it was popping. So, like, we were up. We, like, woke up, but for the most part, man, Mondays are just so hard for us. And then just in general, we're in bed now because of the 6 a.m. classes. Like you say, on a Friday night, bro, that's, like, our main goal. We have, like, alarms on our phones that goes off at 9:30, 9:45. Go to bed, champ. Sleep is vital. Go to bed. If not, the blue light will keep me up. And
are you still do you work at an animal clinic, Tubby? You still work the clinic? How does that fit into your day? Is that like you go every day? You go when you can?
So here's the thing. This is why I love this clinic. The owner also trains. Was actually managing his MMA career at one point. So my boss, the head doctor there, he trains. And I've been there since 2015. So ever since I've been on board, they've known like jiu-jitsu's been the main thing. I do the working more so as like a hobby, a side gig to make money, and also too, it's just I like working with them. They're a great group of people. But they are awesome in a sense of they scratch my back, I scratch their back. Mm-hmm. So I'm usually on call. So they work with me in my schedule. They tell me, hey, we understand you have morning class from 6 to 8. You come in whatever time you can. At the end of the day, I'm valuable to them because I work every position. So as a result, they give me kind of like that little edge of, hey, you can make your own schedule, make your own hours, come in when you can. So as a result, I make sure that if I have open times, I go in, and I always give in like 120%. I try to get like a week's worth of work done when I'm there. Like, they call me,
and she does.
Yeah, they call my boss recently has been calling me Crackhead Bob because he's just like, dude, he's just like, yeah, he's just like, do you ever stop? Like, I've had some of the doctors that are asking, like, do you do everything on this mode? Like, are you always on power mode? Recently, like, we just got evaluated at work, and my boss, my manager was just like, dude, it's like, we can send you to go out there and scoop the yard and clean shit, and you're like, I'm gonna do my best job at scooping everything.
I'm gonna be the best shit scooper that there ever was.
Yeah,
I like that.
And that's just how I am. Like, if I'm gonna do something, I'm not just gonna do it right. I'm gonna make sure I give 120% of that. And like recently too, especially with this camp for Who's Number One, like we've been on that Kobe Bryant mentality, and it's like every Sunday he has me write out my schedule, and he's like, at the end of the week, everything's crossed off because you're committing to everything you write on here.
Yeah.
So sometimes I overdo it, and like by midweek, I'm like, "Fuck, why'd I do this?" and stuff like that. But hey, you gotta commit.
Made the deal.
Yeah, you made the deal. You gotta commit. So like with them too, I make the deal, I commit. If I say I'm going in, you know, there's some times where something comes up and someone switches up on me, like my private switches from 2 to 11. Then I have to tell them, hey, I'm sorry, I can't come in from like 9 to 12, but I'll come in from 2 to 5:30. You know, like something like that. And sometimes I do run myself to the ground because I overdo it, not just with work, but with everything. Like I try to take side gigs of cleaning snakes, cleaning houses, like, you know, anything that's worth manageable of my time, like 2 hours to get paid good money, I'll do it. Because I worked for my parents my whole life. So I already got I've literally worked, liquor store, restaurant, all that good stuff, beverage castles. My parents,
selling candy,
gas stations. I was selling candy at the age of 13 on the side of the streets of New York, hustling. Thanks, bro. So it's like I've done all the work, and now I want to invest my time in something that I want, like jiu-jitsu. And that's what our program, the People's Jiu-Jitsu, we're for the people, man. And like we're here to serve the people. So like that's my goal. I'm here to serve the community.
Tell everybody where that gym is, where you're running that program.
The People's Jiu-Jitsu is in downtown West Palm Beach. It's located in Rosemary Square, right? That's what it's called, Rosemary Square. Okay, so if you guys ever down in the West Palm Beach area, just hit us up on Instagram, Tubby BJJ, Eric Alequin MMA. And like I said, we're here for the people. A lot of gyms, and not, you know, pointing the finger at anyone, but a lot of gyms like mix that up, that they have this misconception of like the people are there to serve them per se. Like it's not like that. It's we're providing a service. You're paying for that service. I'm here to serve you. I'm here to provide for you. So that's like our mission statement. That's like our that's who we are. We're here for the people, man. We're the People's Jiu-Jitsu.
That's awesome. I have a couple of listener questions that I want to ask, and then we have something called the drill down that we're going to do at the end of the show, where we have a list of questions common questions that we get from the audience. So we just started to ask all those of almost every guest. So I'm going to ask the two new questions first. So this first one is, let me see here. This is Quadzilla Jits, and you might know some of these people. Is it easier to have a full load training schedule since you both are highly dedicated and talented? I think we kind of talked about that a little bit. And it says, as opposed to one or the other not training or being a martial artist. So do you find it easier that you're both in this business, that you're both in this 100%. World? How hard 100%. Would it be if one of you guys, like if you were just a vet tech or you were working at the vet, how hard would that be? Because it's hard to understand, right?
I don't think if you're not involved, you just wouldn't get it, you know? Like your wife, for example, she's like 5 hours, really? But now she needs that training. So I don't think again, if you're involved, you just don't understand. And we both have competed at a high level, so we know the sacrifices that need to be made.
Okay.
And we feed off of each other. When one of us is down, the other one is there to pick the other up. For sure.
Do you guys ever like move the coffee table and you're like, all right, let's go, let's do some jiu-jitsu?
Yes.
People have come to the gym and watched us roll, and like,
are you guys? We're literally witnessed domestic violence. Except for it's okay, right? They're okay, right? Like we've had some people on the mat like, are you guys good? And we're like, oh no, we're good. We're good.
Better.
Yeah. Especially after that, we're good. Like we're Gucci.
Is there ever a time? I love having like husband and wife teams on like this. I love having like couples because I like to understand the dynamic. Is there a time that you guys have been fighting and then it's just like carries over into the gym, or you know, it's like were you supposed to roll together and then you're not rolling together? Does that happen?
Oh no, if we're mad at each other, we're rolling.
we're gone. We hash it out.
Sometimes he'll be like, "No, I don't want to go with you. Like you're too upset right now." I'm just like, "Let's go right now." Like, yeah. I'm digging like my knuckles in his rib cage or in his temple here and there.
Laughing.
You know, he's laughing, but I'm over here like squeezing his temple and like slowly trying to get a little fish hook in, like just jabbing my knuckles in his rib cage, like anything, hitting like his thighs, like punching him really hard in his thigh with my knuckle. Just
the fish hook's the worst.
Yeah.
So,
but for sure, if we're upset at each other and it bleeds over, we're rolling. We're trading.
And it usually kind of squashes things, right? Like soon after that.
Always, yeah.
That's good.
Either I end up like getting upset. I remember one time when we were at our old gym, we were upset at each other, and you kept footlocking me, getting me with the same ankle lock. And that's probably the first time and only time I ever cried in training. And I literally got so upset. I was like, "Get off of me!" I was like,
"You're just thinking of me."
Yeah, you're just. If you were in my weight class, it'd be a different story. That was like my line. I was like, "If you were in my weight class, it'd be a different story." And that was like the only time I kind of cried in training.
Take note, people. Take note.
I was just like,
I submitted her.
I was like, you're catching me with the same ankle lock and not even telling me how to escape. Like I was doing the regular ankle lock escape where you push the leg down and hop over the foot, and then he was going into like a variation. Now it's like the butterfly Aussie pretty much. Now it's called butterfly Aussie, but back in the day he was doing it to me, and I'm like, I'm escaping and you're not even telling me how to get out properly. You're just submitting me back to back like 6 times. So that was the only time that it really, after we trained, I was still mad at him.
Do you find yourselves like coaching each other as well? If you see like when he competes or you compete, or even when you see each other rolling on the mat, like, hey, listen, you should do this. Does that happen as well?
Always specifically watching her like a hawk, especially right now. I'm not training as much because of my knee, so I'm laser beam focused. Her elbow might be an inch off to the right, and I'm saying like, you need to fix your elbow position type deal.
Like he went and looked up, like he did his homework on my opponent and looked up a bunch of things, took notes, so he's been honestly taking control and telling me just how to sequences, chain attack setups, like in the middle of training, like, hey, switch that position, play this. And I'm just like in the middle of rolling, switching, listening, just keeping an eye. Because at the end of the day, like when I'm out there, he's that voice. I don't have to look at him. I just know. Like, so he's that voice I look out for and I listen to. So in training, we try to do the same thing.
Eric, I heard you, Tubby, I heard you talk about that Eric will watch like instructionals and take notes. Do you still do that? You take notes and then you use it, you go figure it out in the gym and then teach it to other people. Is that your methodology?
I think personally, for the gyms, professors, anyone teaching, for anyone who's not watching these instructionals in 5 years, they're just gonna be the skill gap's gonna be so big, just because guys like John Danaher, all those DDS guys, they have systematized jiu-jitsu in such a manner that, I mean, obviously some instructors have some systems, but these guys put it in such a way that anyone can do it. Versus, I feel like when we learn jiu-jitsu, our instructor described it as, okay, I give you this Rubik's Cube. This Rubik's Cube is your jiu-jitsu. You solve it. We mess with the Rubik's Cube. Give it back to me. I help you with it a little bit. Now I feel like instructionals is I've been given the Rubik's Cube with exact instructions on how to complete it.
Okay.
So I really feel like, I mean, the first seminar we went to, how was that, 4 years ago?
Yeah.
We were already black belts. We went to a Gary Tonin, Gordon Ryan seminar. And I left there. I said, I don't know anything.
Gordon asked me mid-thing when he showed something. He was like, how pissed are you? And I was like, bro, 12 years of slave to this shit. I'm pissed. I was like, I'm very pissed. And I'm just now learning this. Like simple things like the Kimura being a pulling, not a pushing. Or how to pin the arms down, like using like based on how their rotator cuff and how their arm bends. Like, it's like the anatomy of jiu-jitsu. And it's like, it's not even those guys. We're open-minded to learn from anyone.
I'm a white belt. Every time I step on the mat, I'm a white belt.
So it's like we're open-minded to any of that, because at the end of the day, we're not trying to fall behind. Like he said, in 5 years, look how short amount of time jiu-jitsu has grown. And let's be honest, those guys put it on the map by saying what by creating their brand, right? Which is them going out there and competing, right? And then them coming back and teaching exactly what they're doing out there. That just created their own brand, and proof is in the pudding. Now they have all these instructionals and stuff. So it's like at the end of the day, we're not saying we're hardcore. We're going against everything we learned. There's a lot of things, details that were missed coming up when we were being taught certain positions, which just make the positions a lot easier.
I feel concepts and principles that they give you that allow you to solve problems on your own.
And then just in general, just in jiu-jitsu, we're like, man, it's always evolving. There's so much. They narrow it down to where it's like, okay, these are the four open guards that you're going to address in jiu-jitsu. It's like, oh, this isn't lasso de la jiba. No, these are the 4 positions you're going to come across. It's 4 positions that basically is like 1,000 techniques from those 4 positions, but they narrowed it down to show you just 4 open guard positions that you're just examples like that, or how to grip the gi.
Oh, cross grip, line of
just
tension.
Different grips. It's not just the lapel and the cuff and the pant leg. There's so much more. It's like the inside of the seam, the shoulder grip, creating line of tension. I'm like, no one's ever taught me this shit. Like, this is useful.
Yeah.
As a white belt, this is gold, Like, I look at white belts and blue belts and I'm like, bro, when you're a purple belt, you're going to be giving me some smoke, man. It's scary to see where it's headed, But it's exciting. It's exciting.
I know one little tip I give to guys that I train with. I was, as soon as I started jiu-jitsu, I'd be on YouTube. Like, again, my wife, talking about my wife getting pissed. If I wasn't doing it, I was watching it, and I'd be like laying in bed. She'd be watching a show, and I'd have my iPad. So I tell people, whatever we're training, this is for people that aren't going to sit down and really get an instruction, or when they first start out, I tell them, start it like this. Whatever we just did in class that day, just go on YouTube and search it. And then 100%. You see all of these other different ways, especially like, I know like my coach, he'll tell you like, listen, it's different for every body type, and like, okay, this is the way I'm going to do it, and help you figure it out for you. But when you look at some videos, you'll kind of find that and you'll be like, oh, wow, I didn't know I could put my foot there. Oh, my hand should be there. I didn't realize that my hand was here. But just watching it, and I mean, you could just let it play, right? You could just search something and then just let those videos play. I still do that. Saturday morning, little breakfast, coffee right before class, and I just put YouTube on, and I know what we're usually training the same thing, especially the Friday, Saturday is advanced. So we're doing that same thing the whole month. So I know I'm going to watch this the whole month before I go training. I just put it on. It's in the background. Yeah. I don't have to always be I have it on. I'm over here. Oh, I catch something. It's just on. It's on. You're consuming it. You're consuming it. So I tell everybody to do that.
I literally just did that to learn different ways how to escape the buggy choke. There's different ways people have come up with to escape the buggy choke. That's why I was like, I'd rather be prepared than unprepared, because that is taking some lives. That buggy choke, that's taking some lives. And people go with it. Yeah. I had a white belt probably a year ago when the Rotolo brothers started doing it, like a year ago. A white belt slapped it on me, and I looked at him, and he looked at me, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, this is where jiu-jitsu has come. And like, it was tight, and I had to get out. I was like, no, not today.
I know that you guys have seen there's a great video of like somebody did a buggy choke, and the defense was he put on his own buggy choke. And then the second buggy choke, like, choked out the other guy. I think the guy passed out.
Yep.
That's why I love jiu-jitsu. To me, it's like there's never a time where you can't be challenged by it. There's never a time where there's just not something new. I love it. Every once in a while, like I think Eric, you said before, like when you went to these seminars, you'd be like, man, I feel like a white belt. I like when there's a black belt that comes into our school. Like school's very open, so a lot of times people will come in and train and come to the open mats. And when I see a black belt, even like a multi-stripe black belt from another school come in, and our coach is teaching something and they're having a little bit of a problem with it. There's so much jiu-jitsu that even a 2-3 stripe, a black belt or third degree black belt might not have seen some of this, or just doesn't train it. It just wasn't part of his arsenal. So when I'm looking at them and they're having a problem with it, or they're learning, or they're asking a coach to, hey, how do I do this? I love that, because it reminds me of like, look, I'm doing this all the time, and I know this, but if I go to their school, like I tell people, I'm a brown belt in my gym's jiu-jitsu. If I know somebody that's trained at American Top Team. We just had him on. Paul Geller was our last guest. He's training at 10th Planet now, at a 10th Planet in Pompano Beach. He's like, it is so freaking different to be able to have enough the balls to go into another system. Go like, I'm going to go into another system. I don't know anything about this system. I mean, that's extreme because 10th Planet, it's like its own beast. But I like to see people come in and have trouble with something because it reminds me that, like, you know, there's so much jiu-jitsu. Like, even they don't know this. They're like, when I go, sometimes I have them come in and, like, we're lockdown heavy. We do a lot of lockdown stuff and Z-guard. So, especially right now, that's what we're focusing on. And people come in and they're just like, they're lost. They're like, where's my leg? Where did my leg?
Yeah, that's one that I'm not familiar with. Lockdown myself, you know?
And then there's an outside, there's like the inside lockdown between the legs, but you could do the outside lockdown and just shift. The person can't move and you could take their back. So I could be under them, outside lockdown. I just scoot over and now I got your back. And people are like, what is this? What magic? What sorcery is this? You know, but it's just like, because you practice it enough that you know it. But listen, that, like I said, that stuff is out there. I'm still a consumer. I maybe don't do it as much, like on the weekends, in the morning. No work, no business to do. Throw it on, watch it for an hour, stretch, machine gun. You know, get ready for class. You know?
Get the things out.
We have another question here. So we have the Instagram handle is Quavo Bizarre Adventure. This Guero Mendoza. Do you know that? Anybody you know by any chance? Okay, so a lot of times it's people that know the guests that send questions. So what keeps you going? Excuse me. What keeps you going, or what kept you going? I'm sorry, during your early years of training, and when did things start to click? You both can answer that.
Want to go first?
Yeah. So what kept me going, honestly, was jiu-jitsu is a never-ending book. Like, I don't want to take away anything from other sports or other martial arts, but it's like you have your karate where it's, you know, your kicks. You have different types of kicks and punches, but it's like you can only do so much. Whereas jiu-jitsu, it's constantly evolving, constantly growing. And what kept me going was I went in kind of increments. So I had this set time where I was only doing closed guard. And then I got with him and then I started doing open guard. And then I started doing no-gi. Then I started doing leg lock. So it's like what kept me going was just the motivation of learning new things. That's what honestly kept me until this day, till now. That's what keeps me involved in jiu-jitsu. It's because I'm constantly learning. I'm always learning. It's like a never-ending book, just different chapters, but never ending. So what was the next one after that?
And when did things start to click for you? And I want to add to that. When did you know that you loved it? Like, I loved it before I got on the mat the first time. I was like a UFC fan. I'm like, I'm going to love this jiu-jitsu. And I went and I was like, confirmed, I loved it. When did you really know that you love this? Like, I'm going to be doing this.
I would say 100% I knew I loved it was after my first class. And it was only because I want to say it was a good PCP moment. I rolled with the head instructor. His name was Gus at the time. I can't remember his last name for the life of me, but Gus. And when I rolled with him, he was just like, you know, you have a brother, just wrestle me like you would your brother, you know, just try not to get crushed, basically, is what he told me. And mind you, my first class ever, that first class, I was walked in with pigtails and a pink shirt on, pink USA shirt. And when the instructor, it was Gus and Shaba Bonus at the time, they were like, all right, everyone partner up. Everyone partnered up, and I'm sitting across from who is now, I think, UFC.
He's in the UFC.
He's in the UFC. Chris Barnett.
Okay.
You know Chris Barnett,
yes,
Crazy Legs Barnett. Yes, big Chris Barnett.
He's a heavyweight.
Heavyweight. Just me and him sitting across from each other, and I'm like, you want to go? So, like, we partner up. I guess we start going, and I don't know what happens, but man's, like, by accident, of course, goes and throws me, and I end up making a hole in the drywall. And, like, I got up, and I'm like, let's go again. Let's go again. So it was right at that moment. I was like, okay, I like this. Then I rolled with Gus, with Coach Gus at the time, and I was just a wildling. Like, I was just all over the place, throwing my body, just trying to headlock him and all that. And, you know, he was, of course, taking his time, dealing with me nicely. But afterwards, he's like, dude, you might not know anything now. He's like, but if you keep that drive and that fire, he was like, you could be something big in this. And, like, that just lit me up. And I was like, I'm sticking to it. I'm gonna do it. So that's how I got it.
What about you, Eric? So what kept you going during your early years of training?
I really got to contribute a lot to my first instructor because he was a great mentor to me. And in fact, like I obviously went into the gym with it, like with you. I liked UFC. I wanted to fight MMA, and he was like, wait, hold up. He's like, I remember like yesterday. He goes, anyone can knock anyone out on any given day, but a white belt will never submit a black belt. He said, so we're gonna make you a world champion first. So he really laid out a plan for me. So what I would tell people is make a realistic plan for yourself. I'm sorry, set a goal and then set out a realistic plan to achieve that goal. Whether it's maybe world champion's a bit of an extreme to start. Maybe I want to win a tournament, or I want to get 3 submissions, something small. It doesn't even have to be huge. I think you need to have your eyes set on something so that you're pursuing that, and not just have one thing in mind, have multiple. For me personally, I wanted to be a MMA champion, world champion. I want to make enough money to tell my parents one day, hey, your house is paid off. You don't have to work. So that's what keeps me going. I have those goals. And as far as when I knew I loved it, man, my first instructor, shout out to Wall Blois, Team Noguera, Palm Beach Gardens. He's in Palm Beach Gardens now. He made me feel so good. Just like, I went to the Extreme Couture gym, and it was like a bunch of tough guys. They kind of ignored me. I sat off to the side for an hour. No one really paid me any mind. And then I walk into this guy's gym, and he stops in the middle of his class. Hey, take your shoes off. My name's Wald. Come try out the class. And it was just such a good feeling and I stayed with him for probably 10 years. Yeah.
How does
having a good instructor, you know?
We mentioned Scott Ferguson before. He's really your mindset coach? Does he work with you?
Oh man.
Yeah.
Especially we linked up recently after my knee injury. As an athlete dealing with a knee injury, not being able to train, I've been like having to deal with my own mind, and he kind of, not even kind of, he's really helped me a lot with this.
Yeah. That's great. And just if for anybody that wants to check out Scott, he has a podcast called Time to Shine Today podcast, and you can check it out. I was actually on one of the episodes a couple of years ago. Great guy. Is he still training? Does he train with you guys?
6 a.m.
Okay. He's still training with you?
Just recently.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
just recently they went and did a 3-day fast together. A 3-day fast.
3-day water.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He crushed it. He crushed it.
He crushed it. He did amazing. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
I think he dropped. I want to say like 17 pounds, and he's managed to keep off about 15. So he lost like 15 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
You recommend those fasts?
He's awesome.
You like?
I'm all about the fast. I think everyone once in their life, 3 days, max 7 days water fast will change your life.
How are you during that fast? Are you like moody? Or are you still you, or do you get like?
I'm definitely cranky. Yeah. I will say cranky, but you'll realize how much eating is a habit versus a necessity. I think as humans, we're spoiled now after the Industrial Revolution. You know, you can just go pop something in the microwave.
I eat because I'm bored. I'll eat because I'm bored, not because I'm hungry.
Me too. I mean, I love food, but you realize you don't have to eat as much as you may think.
Yeah.
It's more so about getting minerals, water, you know, just the main thing. Food it's great. I mean, we got a monkey brain, man. This thing gets sugar and salt in doses that our ancestors didn't get. So we get that sugar and salt, and I call it the bump, man.
Yeah.
It's a bump. For sure.
I love the sugar. I'm a sugar
Me
fiend.
too.
Yeah.
If I had to cut
Chocolate, brother, chocolate.
I'm like ice cream, pizza, cereal.
Yeah.
Like I could.
We love coffee, and just recently gave it up. It's been probably 3 weeks, and we tried to drink some the other day, and I'm not even joking. We didn't even drink a lot, and both of us, our temples were like.
I had a migraine.
Yeah, our temples were like bulging, and I was like, Eric, no way. I was like, coffee. I was like, coffee's a drug, dude. And now that we did the whole withdrawals for the first 3 days, we were 3 weeks strong. I was like, our bodies like are seeing it as like a toxic, something not good. I was like, we never get headaches. So that when we started getting literally our temple bulging, I'm like, we got to lay off this stuff.
Oh, wow. I don't know if I could do that one.
I know. Trust me, I didn't think I could either. I love coffee.
I'm an espresso guy. I love
espresso. Oh, God. Those little shots, like the little.
Cuban shots.
I had a heart attack June 7 years ago, and so I'm like super conscious of my coffee intake. I'm good now and I could drink, but those little shots, I don't like.
Yeah.
I don't like when it gets wrong because it starts to make me think something's wrong. So I don't like that big, you know.
That's why we stopped, because I was like overdoing it with the espressos. Like he was like, Tubby, I'm 200 pounds. You're 120 pounds and you're drinking just as much as I am. Like I was literally, he was just like, you need to chill.
I run from those little guys. Like, what do they come with, the little cafecito, right? The little thing with the little shot glasses. I'm like, no. Go away. Go.
Yeah, but we're
That's
cycles.
all me, brother.
We're cycles.
The whole thing.
Yeah, we're cycles. We'll be like, hold the cup.
No,
hold the cup.
No, can't do it.
See, we're crazy.
I do six to 7 of those a day. I'm not kidding. I swear to God. 6 to 7.
We're in a building. We're filming in a building in Miami. You go down to this. There's a coffee. There's a cafe downstairs. So it's very easy access for him. So it's right there.
They make that cortadito.
Yeah.
And I have 6 to 7 of them. Yeah. 6 to 7 of them a day.
I would die.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
All right, we're gonna get to our the questions. We call it the
what?
My sound effects guy's off. We call it the
drill down.
There we go. All right, so we're gonna run these down. We can elaborate on them. This isn't like a speed round or anything. So we're gonna start out with, for each of you, you both answer these. So we'll start with Tubby, ladies first. Gi or no gi? Preference?
No gi.
No gi. Eric?
No gi.
No gi all day.
Yep. Takedown or pull guard?
Guard puller.
Yeah. Yes.
You know what? That one.
Yeah.
You know, I've turned into a guard puller.
Yeah.
I'll take takedown though. I would say takedown though.
Yeah. Guard puller here. All right. Music during rolling, yes or no?
Yes.
Got it.
100%. Yes.
Okay.
Reggae.
Well, I was gonna say, what's the preference? What's your go-to?
Hip hop.
Hip hop. Okay.
Gangsta rap.
Yeah. Me, I'm 90. Anything 90s. Anything 90s.
We have some of those
We
guys.
got a lot of 90s.
Yeah.
brother.
I'll even go with the 90s R&B. You know, but 90s hip hop is my thing.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
No. No, that's a little older.
No, bro.
So, favorite walkout song?
Oh, I'm right now. I'm on "Back Outside Boys" by Drake.
Oh,
Back
man.
outside, boys.
I really like 50 Cent, Many Men.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a great song. Funny enough, this is the truth. I was just getting new music off of Apple, and I got that. So I just downloaded. It's in my recently downloaded. It's in my recently downloaded songs, and I'm in the car. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about studying instructionals and things like that, but do you guys watch a lot of MMA and jiu-jitsu? Are you like watching like Bellator on a Friday night? Are you watching the UFC? Because UFC is almost every weekend now. Are you watching the WNL? Are you guys both watching all that stuff?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, every weekend.
So, is it together, or will you be watching a WNO and he's watching an MMA?
It's kind of like that.
Yeah, kind of like that. So it's like if it's a UFC fight night and there's like jiu-jitsu fights, he'll have the fights going on the TV, and we'll have the full graph on our phone, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Yeah. But pretty much we're
She's definitely watching
everything.
more jiu-jitsu matches than me.
The UFC fights, I gotta like the fighters, because if not, I sleep.
Yeah. You're on a rolling, there's a pole on this like rolling thing for the TV. We used to have 2 of them on this side before we started using it like this. It would have a scroll of our sponsors, their logos. Well, I have one in the studio, and now one's at the house, and I use it as my second monitor in the office. But when there are fights on, I roll it into the living room. So we got the TV on the wall.
We're the same way.
I'll put Flow Grappling on the little one. And actually, you could go back and forth because you got the Flow Grappling app on the TV. And then I'll put the big one on, and I'll switch it back and forth. So sometimes I've got a couple of pictures on Instagram here and there where I'll just be like, and it's like Flow and UFC.
Yeah,
I don't want to miss. I don't want to miss anything, But
that's funny, man.
Addicts.
Even with the boxing fights, same thing with him. He'll do the same thing.
Yeah, I'm watching boxing, MMA, jiu-jitsu. We got 3 screens sometimes. We got bedroom TV.
Yeah.
I'll run to the bedroom. What happened?
Or laptop going. Yeah, so it's just us 2. So it's like we like, now it's us 2. So we watch everything together. All that.
So who are your favorite competitors to watch then? Do you have a favorite? Yeah, for both. He could do MMA. You could do jiu-jitsu.
I want to say
Pick one and one.
For jiu-jitsu, man, I gotta say for Nogi, I gotta say Gary Tonin.
Yeah.
Gary Tonin, he's exciting. He's fun to watch. Like, he's got a crazy style.
He's got
like
a don't blink
taker.
style, like, right? And you don't want to miss it.
Dude, I really, really like his style. It's fun. Whether he wins or loses, his matches are always really fun. As far as for MMA, I gotta say, Bullet.
Who's that?
Valentina.
She's a thug. Valentina, she's a thug, bro.
Shevchenko, right?
Yeah, she's a thug, bro. She just lost her last fight, but still,
she's bad.
That was
she's fun to
Alexandra Grasso. Was it that got her?
Mm-hmm.
A little mistake, man. But other than that, she's a boss, man. That she's a scary, scary woman.
Eric?
Yeah. For jiu-jitsu, I gotta roll with Gordon Ryan just because I appreciate his basics. Like, he's not a flashy guy. He's not doing anything that you're like, wow, like I could never do that. He is, to me, he's like what jiu-jitsu is. He's not a very athletic guy. Obviously, he's jacked up. He does his steroids, whatever the case is. But his jiu-jitsu is beautiful in a basic manner to where I call it melting people. He just melts guys. And he, like Roger Gracie for years, you knew Roger Gracie was going to mount you and cross choke you, but you couldn't stop it.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate those basic, I know what this guy does, and I still can't stop it because he's so good at it.
My co-host Miguel calls it, I think he calls Gordon a meat blanket. Is right?
Yes.
Like, it's just this meat blanket, and there's nothing you could do. He makes world-class black belts look like white belts. Like, it's their first day of training, and it's crazy. So how about on the MMA side?
Ooh, MMA. I'm going to roll with Israel Adesanya, man. I really like him. I was a huge Anderson Silva fan, and I felt like Anderson kind of passed that torch to Israel. So I feel like he's that guy.
Are you, in your own career, are you like a talker? Do you have to, like, sometimes the talkers have to kind of hate their opponent. It's part of what they do to feed their brain to be able to then go out there and fight this person or try to hurt them. Are you a talker, or are you a little bit more laid back? Which
I'm very much the guy that's silent until the chaos breaks out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the quiet guy in the corner. Hey, I don't want any problems.
Like, the way I tell people, I describe it. I'm like, I'm the chihuahua that's like barking and yapping, and he's the bully, the black bully in the background, just waiting for someone to yap the chihuahua. Yeah, he's just chill, very chill.
My favorite fighter is Rose Namajunas. And very specifically, before that fight, who did she fight? The Polish girl. What name did you say?
Jessica Andrade. Before that fight?
No, the other one. She fought the Polish girl that fights the American Top Team. Does she look like an alien after one of her fights? Joanna Jędrzejczyk. When I don't know, I think it was maybe the first fight when they were like, she was really trying to get under Rose's skin. And remember, they did the face-off, and she was doing, like, I think a Hail Mary. Like, she was just reciting the Hail Mary. That was, like, I feel it right now. Like, I get chills thinking about it. Like, she was trying to bully her so bad, and Rose was just like, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut. I think it kind of maybe brought her back to some bullying days and things like that. Mm-hmm. And just that the way that she acted in that moment, I just totally respected and kind of, like, felt that. I think every kid's probably had a bully. Even if you were a bully, every bully had a bully, right? You're a bully because you got bullied, right? Mm-hmm. So it just brought me back to that. And I was just like, wow, she kept her composure. She just kept her composure. And then she went out and she beat her. And that was amazing. It was just like, that was like probably one of the best fights. She's my favorite fighter. A lot of guys, like, they always have a guy feel. I think most of the time, the girl fights on UFC and even in the jiu-jitsu cards are better than the guys, and it took a lot of time to get there. I think I have a reason why. I'll let Tubby. Why do you think that sometimes the girls' fights are, or almost all the time, the girls' fights are better than the guys?
Because bitches are crazy, Milton, okay? They're fucking wild. Seriously, like, I tell him, I'm like, man, girls are I feel like they take things more personal. There's definitely more emotion involved. There is some estrogen there, so there's way more emotion involved. And girls are just crazy. They're more riskier. Like, they're just risk takers, Yeah. You don't really see flying arm bars from the guys in the octagon. Like, you don't really see, just crazy stuff like that. It's the girls. They're just risk takers. I just feel like they're just crazier. They're crazier and they're more emotional.
Do you feel like, I feel like just almost like sometimes when the undercards, the men or women, sometimes those fights are better because they're trying to get, like, they're trying to prove something, right?
Yep.
They're trying to get there to that main card,
Yep.
right? I feel like no matter how far we've come, I think the women still feel like they have something to prove, and they really let it all out in the ring. And there's just no, you know, there's no break. There's no brake pedal, right? It's just gas.
I've said this before. I said, you know, and this was, you know, nothing to take away from the guys, but I'm like, the women in jiu-jitsu or the women in just a male-dominated sport have to work twice as hard just to get half the recognition that the males do. And granted, the pool isn't as big as it is as the males, but it is a male-dominated sport. So taking that into effect, we're always going to have to fight twice as hard just to get half of what the guys have.
Okay. All right, so let's move on to our next question. What is your ultimate goal in the world of jiu-jitsu and MMA? We'll put them together. What is your ultimate goal in this world?
I want to be a multiple-time black belt world champion, and I want to hold some titles, whether it's for different organizations, as far as like my professional career, as far as my teaching and stuff. I want to build something that will last in the community. I want to build something that, you know, it's like a safe haven for kids that are getting bullied, for adults that feel like there's no sport out there for them. You have all these sports where basketball, you have to be tall. Football, you have to be big. You know, soccer, you have to be able to run. Boxing, you gotta have to have good upper body, like strong. It's like jiu-jitsu is for anyone. And I feel like for professional career, I want to obviously get as many medals and accomplishments under my belt, but for teaching and legacy and things down the line, I want to create something great for the community. So what we're building right now, like I said, is we're here for the people. We're here to serve them. We're getting people from different gyms, from people who've never done jiu-jitsu before, and they're walking in and they're just like, man, it's different here. The vibes are different. We like the vibes. We like what you guys are doing. Just today, we went and our dentist was telling us, he does jiu-jitsu. He was telling us, man, I feel like jiu-jitsu is like, the way he described it, he was like, you're in first grade to 12th grade. And he was like, in jiu-jitsu, you're like, one day you're in first grade, the next day you're in 5th grade, next day you're in 11th. He's like, there's not really a systematic approach to jiu-jitsu, which is what we're trying to do differently. We're trying to basically make it to where you can go through each grade level, you know, and get where you're supposed to be in that time frame. But yeah, we want to do big things with the gym. Ultimately, we want to have one of the best jiu-jitsu schools. If not, we already are. Best jiu-jitsu school in West Palm Beach in South Florida. Yeah, that's it.
The gym that you're coaching at, is it your gym or you? That's a plan.
So right now we're eventually we want to, you know, expand and do our own thing, but we're renting time slots from a different martial art. So the gym is called Sistema Martial Arts.
Okay.
They teach like a Russian martial art. So it doesn't coincide with jiu-jitsu. It doesn't clash or anything.
Okay.
It actually does help with like it's kind of similar to like the movement training that Ido Portal was doing with like Conor McGregor and stuff.
Okay.
So similar to that. So yeah, so right now we're just renting time slots. Eventually we want to add more classes, build the program up, and then down the road do our own thing, open up our own place.
I know somebody who's done that and done it real successfully, and I know you said Sanford MMA. I know Drew over at down here in Fort Lauderdale. I don't know if you know Drew. He does A&M Jiu-Jitsu.
Hard Knocks?
Drew, hard,
Yeah, I know.
Drew's a good friend. He's co-hosted the show a bunch in the beginning when he was. I met him at my very first school. So I mean, I think he might have a different deal now, but that's how he started down there. He was kind of just basically, you know, he had his time slots for that space on the mats there. So
that's right now with the market, with the what do you call that? The way prices are right now with buildings and stuff like that, that's probably the best way to go until the market crashes.
Yeah, true. Okay, very last question. I know we all said that we like no gi, but I know that you guys both train in the gi as well, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you or do you not wash your belt?
I don't wash my belt.
Wait, hold on.
Half the time it rolls off. Half the time it falls off.
I have belts. I think my purple belt. I have my purple belt for the longest. Right?
Yeah, you never watched.
And that thing was bad.
That thing was like on threads. But no, to be all right. I'm not a pata sucia or anything like that. But I mean, the belt comes off like most of the time during training. So it's like it doesn't get soaked. My gi, on the other hand, is like soaked. So my belt is never really like wet. It's never really dirty.
What's happened to your stripes if you wash your belt, brother? Come on.
Restripe yourself?
No, okay. So I do. I have the belt. I have the belt that my coach gave me, which I actually just started wearing again. And then I have one of my sponsors gave me a Flow and Roll. One of our sponsors, he had given me a couple of gis and a belt. So I had both of them. So when I got my stripes, I did put my stripes. I was like, okay, I got to put it on the other belt. I didn't know that. I thought that was okay.
Did you feel weird?
I gave a little speech in my laundry room when I put it on. But I did my first, like, I'll just talk about my brown belt. My brown belt, I pretty much was washing it at least every 1 or 2 times after training, like every training. And then I would go, at least if I trained a couple of days, okay, I just throw it in with the gi. I never knew. We've joked about this since the beginning because I never, up to like maybe purple belt, I was just always washing my belt. Nobody told me not to. Nobody told me there was this thing or nobody said anything. So when I started doing the podcast, one of my training partners from the newer school was like, you don't wash your belt. That's just like a mortal sin. So it became a thing and a joke on the show. But I've always washed it. I do have 2. I just carry them around. I do have 2. One, I'm actually more like, I know it's supposed to be like, it fades. It shows the time on the mat. Me, I'm like, my belt is so faded. Let me grab the new one and start wearing the new one. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. Like it's like a shirt.
I won't even wear another belt.
No, he won't. He has one belt that he'll wear.
My black belt that I received from my promotion, I will not.
I got like 6 of them, but he's got only one that he'll wear.
Like it's like, it was almost like a t-shirt. I'm like, oh, this t-shirt is faded and old. I'm gonna wear another t-shirt. I was looking at it. I'm like, wow, that's really faded. And knowing all this and having this conversation, I'm like, oh, let me put on the one that now I'm wearing the one that my coach gave me. But I mean, I don't think anybody really noticed, but it is at 3 stripes and it's like bright brown. What's that?
Was it like almost white, like fade, like a reddish white?
No, not that bad. No, not that bad. It was just like, oh, I got this other one in my bag. Oh, this one looks nicer.
That's when when the material.
I'm the complete opposite.
That's
when the purple belt was literally turning white.
Yeah, it was white.
It was literally turning white. Like the threading and stuff was coming on. It was turning white, like a pale purple. Yeah. I was like, I think you need to give this thing up, man.
We had Wagner on one time. He was in studio with his wife. He was sitting right here. And when I said I washed my belt, he looked at me. I swear to God, I thought like that. He looked at me like, are you fucking kidding me? What am I doing on this show? This idiot is the belt washer. Like, I felt,
he's washing his belt.
I remember, like, I said something to him like, oh, okay, I guess I'm not washing my belt anymore. He looked at me like, this fucking idiot. And I was like, this guy's going to kill me. I was just like, oh, okay. But I'll wash. I will every once in a while. I will like spray it with some Lysol, or we have another sponsor, Nutrizone Clean. We have like a spray that's like something that you use for the skin and stuff. So I'll spray it on the belt. If I'm throwing, you know what it is? If I throw it in my bag, like I want it to be clean. I don't want to throw my like I use the same bag. So if I put it in the bag, it's clean. If not, I have this thing that you can wash like your equipment in. You know, like sometimes the glove, like the hand wraps come with the little bag that you can put it in to wash it, so it doesn't the Velcro doesn't get right. Well, there's a big one called the Stinky Bag. Again, this was like a sponsor thing when we first started. It's called the Stinky Bag, and they made it. They were selling it really at the beginning of COVID. They were like marketing it to nurses and doctors, like throw your scrubs in this bag, and then you unzip the bottom and you throw the whole thing in this mesh bag, so you don't have to touch your scrubs. You don't have to take them out and put them in the wash. You open the bag and you just throw the whole thing in, and they like sponsored us for a little bit and they gave us all the bags. I still use that, and it's if I leave the gym, I put my gi top and my belt in there, and then I put that inside of my gym bag and bring it home. And then when I go home, I'll like lay the belt out or wash it, and then I throw the gi top with the rest of my stuff. I'll keep my pants on when I go home, and then for the drive home, and then throw them in the wash. That's just the way that I've always done it. It's just like second nature. When I go home, take it off in the laundry room, I throw it in, go take a shower.
When the material...
You dry your gis?
What's that?
You dry your gis?
No, I can't dry my gi. I'm too
Okay,
I'm
good.
too
I'm
big.
about to say, you wash it down and you dry your gis.
No, if my A3 will turn into an A2.
Okay, cool.
That I don't do. I lay them out. But yeah.
Cool.
So that's the story behind the belt washing with us. So we've always had this thing, but everybody has a different take. I kind of think the reason that I really liked asking it because I thought it was really funny that my co-host thought he was of the mindset like you're washing away the skill and the blood of your training partners. Nobody ever told me that, so I was training for so long. Nobody ever said like don't wash it. They told me that nobody said it for so long that I was doing it my way. So then when I would hear that, I would be like, are you serious? Really? My skill is in the belt? And then it became a joke and a thing, and we ask it to every guest. So that's where we are.
I hear that too, though.
Oh man,
I
would feel like
we tell our students like, don't wash the belt.
That's bad.
You want bad juju.
Tell them there's COVID in the belt. There's COVID in there now.
Man, everyone was washing their belt.
All right. Thank you guys very much for joining me today. I want to give you a minute if you want to give it any shout outs, remind everybody where the gym is, say hello to thank any sponsors. This is your time.
I just want to thank you firstly for having us. Really appreciate that. It's been an honor to speak to you. I want to thank again my mindset coach, Scott Ferguson, who's been helping me with my life overall. I want to shout out my sponsors, RDX, Compeak, my gym, Killcliff. And like Tubby was saying, just as instructors, anyone watching this, remember that we are being paid to provide a service. So we are, in a sense, servants to our students.
Awesome. All right. And I want to go ahead and just give a shout out to Just Roll BJJ Tees. They've been with me for a long time. Love them. The People's Jiu-Jitsu, we're located in downtown West Palm Beach. You guys ever want to hit us up, if you're ever in the area, we have a great beach in Trump area. You know, we can show you Trump's house too. We right by there, you know, show you a nice little Palm Beach island, you know, give you a nice little host. Just hit us up on Instagram. And
Thrasher Hemp Shoes as well.
Thrasher Hemp Shoes. Shout out to Shorts Animal Clinic. They're awesome. And last but not least, Byron and Gina out of Atlanta. They've been some great supporters. They own Striker Fight Center. They are awesome, and we love you guys.
All right, man. So like I said, don't hang up. But thank you so much for doing this. We really appreciate this. We'll let you know when this comes out next week, and I'm going to come take some pictures with you real quick right now. All right, guys. Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you to Neutral Zone CBD, a combat family-owned company that supports athletes and the people who love them. Neutral Zone strives to deliver clean CBD products for sports recovery in gummies, lotions, balms, roll-ons, and more. After a competition, a hard rolling session, or a tough day on the job, Neutral Zone has a product designed to help you reduce inflammation, increase cell rejuvenation, and may even help with aging joints. Visit neutralzonecbd.com and get 25% off your order with code JJD. And follow them on Instagram too, at MyNeutralZone. Jiu-Jitsu's favorite monthly subscription box has now joined the Jiu-Jitsu Dummies podcast. The BJJ box is delivered to your door filled with premium jiu-jitsu and grappling apparel, equipment, supplements, supplies, snacks, and more. The crew at the BJJ box find the best in the world of jiu-jitsu and guarantee every box to be worth more than the cost. Each box includes 4 to 7 items you're going to love. Visit thebjjbox.com and use code JJD10 to get $10 off your very first box. And give them a follow on Instagram at thebjjbox. Special thank you to the crew over at Flow and Roll for all their support. Flow and Roll is renowned for their incredible no-gi rash guards, shorts, and leggings. Flow and Roll has quickly become the premier custom apparel provider for academies big and small throughout the United States. Reach out today to discuss your custom order and ask about their incredible pre-order program. You can send an email to flowandroll@gmail.com or visit their Instagram at flow_n_roll and shoot them a direct message. And yes, they can create an awesome custom gi for your academy as well. Visit flowandroll.com to check out their awesome designs, and while you're there, pick up a Jiu-Jitsu Dummy signature tee exclusively at flowandroll.com. And remember, you'll get 20% off your purchase of t-shirts, rash guards, or gis with code JJD.
All right, everybody. Very cool, right?
Very cool.
Nice.
They're very
great dynamic.
You know, I think they would be really cool to hang out with. because they're like just super energy, talkative. You know,
Yeah.
very
Love to go train
into
there.
it. You know
Be
what's
very
nice
cool.
is that their addictiveness to it. Like they're addicted to jiu-jitsu.
You get like you get.
They
We're
are
always talking about it.
All about it. Their dentist, their doctor, everything around them in their world is jiu-jitsu. You know, and that's serious commitment.
It's an amazing sport. They're an amazing couple. I'm so glad that to have them on. Scott's been trying to put that together for us for a while. So thank you again to Scott Ferguson for not only mentioning them to me, but getting it put together.
I like the name of it, People's Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah,
it's
man.
like
Very cool.
For everybody.
So remember, check us out at Jiu-Jitsu Dummies on Instagram for all the ways to watch, listen, and support. Click the link in our bio. We'll take you to all of our sponsors, all the things you've heard us mention today. Everything is there. All the ways that you can, all the podcast apps, Apple link, our website, a store. Every one of our sponsors has a link there, so check it out. My personal IG, I am Uncle Milty BJJ on Instagram.
And I'm BADWERKS on Instagram.
Very cool. All right, everybody. Thank you for watching and listening. Peace, love, jiu-jitsu.